African, right? And how that plays out in our daily life. And so today we're going to be talking about how we can get the earrings. We're going to be talking about, more importantly, we're going to be talking about how that affects us in our healing. Y'all ready for that? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So today, welcome. I'm gonna hit record. So hang on one second. Where did it go?
I'm sorry, sister. I'm gonna go on a different device because the speaker on this laptop is like whistling or something. So I'm gonna log out and come right back in.
Okay, babe, no problem. Are you done with this? Yeah. Ready? Okay. All right. So I'm going to give Nina a chance to come back in, then I'll start. So I apologize for the background noise, but today is Sunday. What? That's okay. Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Okay. I think I'm back. So I can't do much for the background noise, but I can let y'all know that I'm happy that y'all here. How about that? Keep your underwear on and get your swim trunks. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. There you go. Just play with it. Go get your own. No, Mina must be having some trouble. Okay. Can y'all see me? Pour it out. Don't drink it. Dump it on your back.
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, good. Okay. So let's get started today. It is a Sunday. It is beautiful here in Arizona. I'm sorry for the noise, but we filled up the pool today, and I happen to have, I think, 10 of my grandchildren. I think 10 of my grandchildren are here. Okay, can you see me? So I want to make sure we're all good. Okay, so welcome to the Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday session. Today, we're going to be talking about the whole ideal of, what healing looks like and how we get into our identity of what healing looks like for each and every one of us. And as I said before, when we're on this healing journey, we're not thinking about, hey, what's actually happened? We're looking for this big bang. Society has gotten us to the place where we're looking for the big bang theory. And I want to encourage you to look differently. Does that make sense? Did Mina come? Okay. All right. So today's going to be more of an interactive. Today's going to be more of an interactive unit for us to engage today. I really want us to think about, as we are approaching this, and our retreat is happening July 15th to the 17th here in Arizona, or you can join us virtually when we're really going to be talking. But one thing I want to talk about today is the whole idea. Is this too loud? I think I'm going to go into another location. Hang on one second. I apologize for the inconvenience. But I really got to make this work. And as you are preparing to come to the retreat, whether you're going to be attending virtual or live, this is another example of why it's so important to let your family know that you're going to be at the retreat, right? That time, that 8-hour time that you're going to be dedicating, maybe it's about 6 hours with all the breaks and all that stuff. But it's really important that you let your family know that you're unavailable, that you need to tap into the freedom and assert yourself to say and prepare for the time, for those 3 days to be occupied and allowing you to engage with something that's going to benefit you beyond the present moment. That's the thing. We all have a future. We're not obsessed about it, but we're saying that what we're doing right now is going to contribute to the growth and development of my future. So Amina came in and I started singing Amina, 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 and she came back with the rest of the lyrics. Right, my East Coast girl never did not disappoint me with knowing the lyrics. But one of the things, so what I'm saying is that, that was a time in the evolution of Black African Americans. The hip hop culture was such a rage, was such a connector for those of us in that generation. And then it spilled over. I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm just telling you, right? Mm-hmm. So the same thing happens with your healing. That's why community is so important. Community becomes essential for us to move. We talked about community already, so I won't revisit it. But I want you to be clear when we say that what we are striving for is something much more than just saying, hey, I felt good for the weekend, or hey, I felt good on Sunday. The importance of the community is that we have the support group, Healing Her Sacred Space, where you can come and join and you can talk and you can walk through your things. We're still learning how to be vulnerable. So today I want to talk about vulnerability, right? Vulnerability. Like, what does that look like for you? What does it look like for me? And what is the expectation? When we look up the word vulnerability, it means being free to reveal hidden parts. Isn't that deep? Mm-hmm. Feeling free to reveal hidden parts. So there are some hidden parts that we need to reveal in order to heal. Then we need to be willing to do it, to not just pass it over and say that, oh, I feel better today, but then tomorrow it comes back and sucker punch you and hit you in the gut. All of us have been there. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So when we're moving forward in this vulnerability stage, that's when you also are vulnerable. We're also going to reveal to ourselves. It's not just always about others. It's about us as well. When we look in the mirror, do we feel like we're being authentic? Do we feel like we're really progressing towards something that is going to give us the type of unity that we deserve within ourselves? How about that? Got you. Mm-hmm. Unity within yourself.
Yeah.
Harmony within yourself. Peace within yourself. Unconditional love within yourself. Financial assurance and acuity within yourself. Not in reaction to, not in response to, but because it is naturally a part of you. Okay? Vulnerability is not a bad word. I often think about Superman when Superman had kryptonite. Kryptonite was his vulnerability. But who did he tell that to? Lois Lane. Because he was able to trust that him sharing that information, it would be a way to help keep him strong. Ooh, I know y'all minds. I hear y'all minds turning and turning and turning. Sometimes we've trusted people with our vulnerability only to find out they cannot handle it. Am I right or am I right?
Yes. I was just thinking about that just now. Mm-hmm. I know. So when do you know when and to when not be vulnerable? Because being quiet and like with the barrier, I know how to do that. But once I start being vulnerable, I have a hard time. You got to do it with the right people. And I haven't learned the formula of that yet. Just saying. Yeah. To be vulnerable.
But you're not alone, Amina, is what I'm saying, is that all of us go through that process.
Yeah.
Who do we trust? Why do we trust them? What is there to gain? What is there to, right?
Right.
So in this moment that you are expanding your vulnerability or exploring your vulnerability, There are certain criteria that we need to look at. As Amina said, who do I allow to trust with me exposing my vulnerability? What is the cost or the benefit of me doing this, sharing my vulnerability? And why is it necessary for me to share my vulnerability in this moment? Right?
Yeah.
So if we're going to look at, why is it beneficial to me? What does vulnerability produce? I want to hear from everybody. What does it mean? If you're vulnerable, what does it mean? Let's go positive. Let's not go negative. Quote unquote. When you hear the word vulnerable, what comes to your mind?
I think you can a possibility to gain a sense of freedom. Right?
Wow,
Like
freedom.
just, like being yourself, kind of being more like not having to put any kind of fronts or any kind of anything extra. Like you can just be yourself, and like the good, the bad, and the ugly is okay.
Okay. So you're thinking more of the idea that if you're vulnerable, you can see what you want, what you don't want, what's the danger. So kind of like doing like an assessment, Amina. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
All right, let's see who else is on here that's trying to be quiet.
For me, I think I agree with Amina, but it's also just, it's no filters. It's just you.
Right.
You're just always moving as you, no matter what situation you're in. You don't have to kind of like gauge the room, like they say, to feel what the room is like, decide how you gonna act. You just go in being you all the time. You don't care what the room is feeling like. You don't need to gauge the temperature of anything. You just always are you. And it's just you're vulnerable. You're free to be who you are at all given times and all given situations. That's how I feel about it.
I like that, the idea of the freedom to be who you are, regardless of the environment and who's in the room.
Yes.
The vulnerability, that you're willing to put yourself out there.
Yes.
Right? Wow, I like that. Kiki, what do you have to
add? I think that vulnerability is allowing yourself to be open. And you're open or whatever. And to me, it's like a form of authenticity. Like the more authentic that you are, and being open, then you don't have like any, just kind of like what the other lady said, you don't have any filters or limitations. You're just allowing yourself to be, period. And with that, you can be receptive. You can allow yourself to be receptive to whatever feedback or whatever that leads up to or whatever, but you were still standing in your own truth, being your own authentic self.
Right. And that goes back, all of you are right where I was thinking. And because I don't know if you guys have ever attended my Raise the Bar seminar, I talk about the 7 levels, but then I break it down into your environments, right? Or your blueprint, the blueprint from your family, the blueprint from your religion, the blueprint from your education, the blueprint from your culture, the blueprint from your ethnicity, the blueprint from your gender, the blueprint about money, the blueprint about, so all these blueprints are sub levels. And if you cannot be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to my money, how do you access the code? Or how are you willing to see the code or access a person who can interpret your code for your advancement and for your healing? So when we are doing that, when we are experiencing this truth and the possibilities for us, remember, healing is a journey. We're healing layer by layer by layer by layer by layer throughout our lifetime. Once you come into conscious awareness, you become vulnerable and you say, well, wait a minute. This is something I want to address. Wait a minute. This is something that I feel I need to reveal, something that I need to address. And I'm going to do it when I walk in this room, because this room says it's for healing. So I'm going to open up in this room and I'm going to let my healing be known, the need be known. Vulnerability is not being, yes, traditionally they say you're making yourself available for predators, but it's not that. It's more than that. It's about opening up yourself enough to understand your needs and your wants that are required for your journey to heal and to evolve into a higher, greater person that you are destined and created to have. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a hard thing to swallow. As I said, this process is to remind you that it's not other people. It's not them accepting or them allowing. It's about you allowing and accepting yourself to be vulnerable in order to identify the higher parts of you and your core assignment. People say to me, tell me my purpose. Tell me my purpose. I can't tell you your purpose. I can only tell you that you have one. I can see that you have interest or that something is pulling you in one direction, but I ultimately cannot tell you your purpose. That was an agreement that you made before you got placed in your mother's womb.
I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
Can the assignment change depending, or a transition or adjust depending on your circumstance in life? No, got it. I just wanted to understand this more.
When people say stuff like that, they go, oh, but I was born in a manger and I was born without a limb and I was born. However you are, however you're destined to impact this realm, it is waiting on you.
Right.
It's waiting on you. It's not about you being poor. It's because most of our assignments are not based upon economics. They're based upon your willingness. They're not based upon economics at all. But what's the first thing we say when we get an idea? Oh, how much is that going to cost? Yeah? Mm-hmm. How many of y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Yes. We're worried about money. We're worried about what people are going to say. We're worried about how we look. For what reason? And for what purpose? If the assignment was already yours before you were placed in your mother's womb, if it was already so, why do you need somebody else to affirm it? That's the vulnerability. Right?
Yeah.
To be vulnerable enough to step out there without the shield, without 100% certainty, and know that it is what it is.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
I was just thinking, like, dang, I wish that the higher entity or spirit could have given us a hint or something, or maybe like a little something to kind of, but it's okay because it'll come. The reality and what it is will come. Yeah, right.
So let's talk about that idea that you talked about when you said you wish you could have a hint, right? So your hint is when you start your journey to heal.
I mean, I'm like probably 4 or something years in right now. And I mean, I have an idea, but yeah, exactly. What is your sole purpose to make an impact, a positive impact on like society, or just the people around you, or
Miss Amina, look, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Personally, how old are you?
46.
But see, no.
Girl.
No. That's a limitation. I cannot allow you to ask about a limitation. Age is a limitation. Location is a limitation. Education is a limitation. It's a limitation that is placed on you by our society that wants you to exist within the limitations. So age has nothing to do with it.
Well,
Gender has nothing to do with it.
I wasn't going to say
Money
anything
has
about
nothing to
age.
do with it. Religion has nothing to do with it.
I was
Family
trying to
has
make a
nothing to do
point.
with it. Ethnicity has nothing to do with it. Size of your body has nothing to do with it. Vision has not physical vision, hearing, or speech has nothing to do with it. This is already prescribed for you by divine creator, and you have agreed to this assignment. And you knew before you took the assignment that there would be challenges, but yet you chose to stay intact in your mother's womb and be born.
So that's basically exactly what I was going to say, like from the get or whatever. Just the fact that you are 46 years old, you've been doing it without even know that you're doing it. Like your purpose is to be here and your purpose is to be you. Like you have been the light to so many people that that's exactly what that is. Like, and just kind of what she said earlier or whatever, like just being able to be in this space of acceptance and understanding that this is really what it is and accepting it for what it is in order to be able to move forward. And that's how each time we learn this, regardless to age, weight, what she said as far as education or just anything or whatever, you are perfectly Amina. And this is who it is that you had to be. And the woman it is that you are today, like in the experiences it is that you were when you were 26, you had to be that 26-year-old Amina in order to be the beautiful 46-year-old Amina.
Oh.
So the way that you look at things or whatever now or whatever, it's gonna be totally different than the way it is that you looked at it before. And later on, girl, when you're 50, you're gonna be looking at it like, oh gosh, I had an inkling when I was 46.
Right.
So there's no wrong way of us doing it or whatever. These things just continuously happen because this is what needed to happen in order for us to get that lesson. So your healing journey doesn't look like mine doesn't look like yours, but we both know that it is this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. It doesn't matter. This physical shell, these physical constraints, this realm we're existing in has nothing to do with the innate information awaiting manifestation.
I think
Being scripted on your DNA. Go ahead.
Yeah, I you know what, and what you said, what Kiki said, and even Amina's question, it leads me to believe, we're always looking for, I know for me, looking for this sign. Like it's gonna be like we're gonna have this aha moment. Oh yeah, that was it. But it's not like that. And I found that it's not like that. And I got a confirmation that it's not like that yesterday when I was sitting on the airplane and this lady was sitting next to me, and I was trying not to I did not want to have a conversation with this woman. I wanted her to leave me alone. So I was like, I'm gonna act like I'm asleep and something. And then finally she said to me, I just know it was meant for me to be sitting here next to you. And I said, oh, why is that? And then she went on, and then I, started talking to her, and she said, you're spiritual. I knew it. And you got something for me. And I just went on and gave her all this information. She said, I knew it. I said, you're going to think back on this. That she was talking about some man. She's single white woman. And I was like, oh, I said, it's not time. He's going to come along, and you're going to remember this conversation that you had on this plane this day with this Black woman. And she started laughing. She said, and I knew it. I knew I needed to talk to you. And so that was it, because I'm always asking sister the same thing you asked, the same thing she said is like, what is my purpose? And so that was yesterday. And so this conversation is clear that you are living your purpose every day. You just don't know it. We're waiting for some aha moment and some confirmation.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm waiting for. I'm like waiting.
Stop.
Like, am I gonna get my? When am I gonna get my crown?
You
I already have it on. It's
you already
here.
have it on. Every day that you walk, breathe, you run into somebody is that moment, and we just need to just be vulnerable enough to be okay and share
And share.
and
That
share
thing, sharing.
and share.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't want to share yesterday. I want that lady to leave me alone.
And look what happened. And look what happened.
And look what happened. She was so thankful. She was like, I didn't know some of the stuff that I had told her, you know, she didn't even know. So it was wonderful. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to be more, stop being like that and be more vulnerable and open so people feel that come to me. It's not like, leave me alone, leave me alone.
Yeah. I wear the same hat. I definitely keep myself distant from everybody, basically. And you know, it's some stupid like coping mechanism that old shit that I needed it years ago, but I don't need it now.
No, we don't need it.
No. So yeah.
Because it was reactionary. And we are focused on responding and preparing. Right? As we are reclaiming who we are focusing on responding and restoring. That's it. Denise, that idea that you don't is because of the constraints and the limitations that were placed on you that are fear-based. If you say something, if you let it be known, you're going to be alienated or you're going to get it wrong, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not even the case, is it?
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. And she was
so
that
you were vulnerable. You were vulnerable on the plane.
Yes. Yep. And I was like, wow.
Oh, it's always connected. It's always connected. But they want us to believe that everything is not connected. But truly, we are all interconnected. We are all still rising upon a place where we can identify the greater parts of who we are. And that's only going to happen the moment we stop depending upon limitations and identifiers and start focusing on what we came here to do and why we're here. You don't got to like me right now. It's okay to not like me right now in this moment. We start focusing on the higher parts of our assignment. If we start focusing on the higher parts of our assignment, emotional capital, manifestation, shifting atmospheres, co-creating, developing, maintaining, then what more would it take for us to ascend to this place? And let me tell you, you can do all that right now, even while you're in the process. But it doesn't make you special. It's just the usual thing that you should be doing, but this world tells us it's unusual. It's an anomaly. It's rare. Because they've beaten us down so much with limitations. Oh, this is this person, so this person should respond to me this way. And when they don't, what do we say? Oh, what's wrong with me? What can I do? What did I do wrong? Instead of maybe that person hasn't evolved enough to accept who I am and what I have to offer.
Right.
Say that again. Say that again. Maybe this person
has not evolved enough to accept and or see what I have to offer. So again, don't take it personally. Back to Don Ruiz. Don't take it personally. A person does what they want to do because that's what they want to do in that moment.
Yep. You know what else? I just want to, I had a few things in my mind this week to ask about today or talk about today. One more quick thing.
No, take your time. This is your time. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Once you start evolving, I need to be able to balance how I feel about people that have not in any way evolved. And like, do I want to be around you now? Of course I want to be around you. It doesn't change anything. The fact that I'm evolving is putting me at a higher frequency to be unfuckwittable. And no matter, you know what I'm saying? So no matter what's a person, whatever a person is, how they are, none of that should bother me. And I find myself really being aggravated, like I'm some at 1,000 frequency. It's ridiculous. I found myself kind of not wanting to do it. People that are not, that are argumentative, that are, all the things that I've tried to leave. And I don't know. I feel like I'm just being like, that's not really evolved to be that way.
It is evolved. It is evolved or whatever because it's staticky. And I'm going through the exact same thing. And I'm not even gonna lie to you or whatever. I mean, because we are still supposed to be here to have this human experience. But I'm pissed the fuck off. And I'm mad. And I'm very emotional about this and everything else because it gets to a point to where we could deal with the people that's on the outside. But then it's something different when it hits home, when it's your children and when it's the person that it is that you've procreated with. It's different when it's them or whatever. And no, they haven't evolved and I have, and I am frustrated and I am mad and I have every single right to be. And yes, I still know who it is that I am and I'm standing in my truth, but at the same time, I'm still having this human experience as their loved one. So I get it and everything else. You have to be able to show yourself that grace and compassion and everything else. You got to be able to have somewhere to put that. But what happens, like, what do you do when we don't have anywhere to put it?
Okay,
and that's
so
exactly what is happening. Like, that was one of the things, sister, where you and both Miss Denise, both of y'all told me. I remember sitting there inside of that. This is on the retreat where you said that these things were going to happen and everything's going to shift. And I get pulled off the shelf. I get pulled off the shelf because now y'all want me to come and help you heal. Now you want me to come and you want me to soothe everything and make everything better or whatever, but you pull me off when it's convenient for you. But then you go back to this chaos and everything else in your responses. And I'm supposed to, I still feel a certain type of way about that. I mean, I'm gonna get it together and I'm gonna get grounded or whatever. But in the meantime, I'm gonna cuss you out in my head until I could. Oh gosh.
So I'm going to respond to you. First and foremost, you have a right to feel how you want to feel, but you don't have a right to expect other people to evolve. Pause and think about that. You don't have a right to expect anybody to evolve. That is not your assignment. People evolve when they choose to, just like you. You have free will, you have choice. So if you are choosing, right, to evolve, nobody else has made that decision but you. And you don't have a right to enforce or expect anyone to do anything that's different or in line with you, children included. Denise, should I talk about children and who children are to you and why your children are given to you because you were chosen to be sufficient enough to be the guardian of their lives, to allow them to grow. They have an individual assignment that is not connected to you. Hold it. Just sit there for a second. Your children's assignment may not be connected to yours, but you are connected to your children. The humanness of us say, these are my children, they're possessions, they're my responsibility. I gotta have it. If they no.
I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just talking. I want to get the whole spiel out for all 6 of y'all on this line. When someone does not meet your expectation, it's usually because of 90% of that expectation is what we believe and not what they agreed to. So if someone has not evolved according to you, according to your expression, according to your consciousness, if they have not evolved, and like Amina said, yeah, you can still be around me, but you may not get enough time. Oh, but they're my husband, they're my children, they're my wife, they're my mother, they're my father, they're my siblings. Those are labels and limitations. We're all connected by spirit. But in the physical form, we have different assignments to fulfill. We are all connected because we are all spirit. But once we take on our physical form, we all have our individual assignment to complete. I know this is tough words to hear. Trust me, when the revelation came to me and I was made to say the prayer that says, take away anyone and everything that prevents me from completing my original assignment. And I will agree. Even if it means turning my back on my mama and my children. I know y'all like, what the hell? Yeah. Because it's bigger than just this physical realm. Mm-hmm. Your presence here is not just in this present moment. Your presence here is addressing the next 7 generations of your life. When you address a person, those of you that are wanting to be spiritualists and practitioners and counselors and healers and all that, those of us that are in that realm, we are impacting a person's life with every interaction for 7 generations. 7. Whoa. So when you think about, oh, I'm just teaching this person a lesson. No, you're not. You're teaching that person a lesson that they're going to pass on for 7 generations. When you're giving a person information, thank you, Denise. I feel you. I see you. I hear you. We all have to evolve at different levels. People say, oh, but sister, you know, you up there. No, I'm not really up there. I might be on mile marker 20 and you might be on mile marker 17. But we're still on the same mile. Another person's involvement is not our concern. What is our concern is how we contribute to that person to remind them that they should be evolving. I'm going to say that again. Whether or not a person evolves is not our business. But what is our business is to ensure that when we interact with that person, we are doing something to spark, reignite, remind them that they should be evolving. Wow. But it's ultimately their choice.
And that's true, because sometimes you could do that, and if they're not ready, they're not ready. Right. And they may cut you out.
The original question was, what are we doing in that moment to deal with this? Because I'm frustrated, and I think that's what Amina had said. She was just like, she doesn't want to like totally disengage. It's just, what am I doing? Because that makes you feel like you're not like you're. It's not even necessarily messing it up or whatever like that or whatever. I don't want to get out of alignment. I want to try to stay in alignment as much as possible or whatever. But knowing that these people have, and I'm not obligating anybody to do anything. At the end of the day, your healing journey is your own. But while I'm on this journey, while I'm doing this, because this is what I recognize to be a trigger for me. Mm-hmm.
So can I get clarity from you? Can I get clarity? May I ask a clarity question, please? You said to me that you were angry that your children were not evolving and it was throwing you off. And I'm saying to you, did I misinterpret that?
So no, it's a situation that has to do with my children. And it's heavy. It's heavy for all of them. One of them in particular, which is my daughter. It's the father who has not evolved and he's never going to, or whatever he does. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care. But like now it's a time or whatever where my daughter is in trouble. She needs help. You guys have alienated me all of this time, and now you have reached out to me. It's an emergency. Okay, now I'm here. So now let's come together to see how we can get this baby to open up because she needs help. And instead, you want to come from your low vibrational space. You don't hear me. That's fine. I done already prayed on it, and everything else trying to get through to her is just something different. And I'm mad about it or whatever because you have this hold. And when I'm communicating to you, I'm communicating at a very still at a higher vibrational level. But the only thing I could say to this person was, okay, I get what it is that you just said. This is my intentions for our daughter moving forward. Don't say anything bad about me. Don't talk about the past. Don't bring up anything negative. If I reach out to you because she's not answering the phone, I'm just asking you to have her just reach out to her, answer the phone. You guys are in the same house. I'm not there, and I can't make you open a door. I can't make her open a door. I can't make her do any of those things or whatever. But you're saying you now recognize she needs her mother. So if that is the case, this is what don't because anything else it will undo it. So just have her answer the phone if she doesn't answer the phone. Then you want to go into this whole tangent about all of these other things and now all of a sudden this whole thing that's happening with her is my fault and all everything else has been my fault. I don't care about that. I want to be able to move forward. There's things it is that she needs. She needs to go to a doctor.
Mhm.
She needs to go to a doctor.
Mhm.
She needs to have a regimen. She needs to be able to heal from these things. And if you say these things that are detrimental to her, she's super duper fragile. If you continuously say these things that are detrimental to her, anything can happen. So if this is what it is that you're bringing me off the shelf for, let me do that. Let me have that with her. Don't stand in the way because she needs her
So,
mother.
so are you angry because they waited so late? Or are you angry because you feel that they're focusing on what was the past and you're focusing on the present moment? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yes, I feel like you have purposely kept my children from me. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to seep in there, have been able to get in there and penetrate some of these things. So my son is fine as far as that. He and I communicate. He's about to be 20. She's 17 or whatever, and there's still a lot of control there in reference to her dad. And he is so focused on, oh well, now you can see why she don't answer the phone for you, why she doesn't do this and why she doesn't do that. Stop, because that's not what this is now. I just need her to answer the phone. We're not talking about any of the things that happened before or whatever. She's sick. She needs help.
Mm.
So you guys, and I mean, and I'm mad. Like I'm mad because I said this a long time ago as far as my baby needing to go to the doctor, her
Yeah.
needing to be able to have these things. And she doesn't, how come she doesn't, why the fuck doesn't she know what an OBGYN is? Why does she not know? And some of these things are just so simple and everything else. And when I'm saying it and screaming it, and I think I know everything, all this, none of these things matter now. This is what's happening now, and now she really needs to go. So, what regimen are we gonna come up with? Like, because now she's older, and that was the thing or whatever. When the other day she turns it because she has this real bad habit of turning off her phone. So now the doctor is calling to tell her what's happening, and they want to get a hold of him. And then so for him, sometimes he answers the phone, sometimes he doesn't. But now they won't tell him anything. So that's fine or whatever. She needs to have somebody that can actually speak for her, ask the right questions to see what it is that she could do in reference to medication, in reference to healing, and all of these things. That's it. Like it needs to be some sort of plan in place. And if nobody's talking to me, nobody's answering this, I'm frustrated. I'm highly, highly frustrated. I don't have any control over this. And did I meditate? Absolutely. Did I pray about it? Absolutely. I feel like my lower vibrational self will say that I feel like at the time or whatever, when everything has happened or whatever, I had reached a mark where I did not have it in to do anything else. Like I had to be able to walk away from this because y'all was taking me to a whole different space. And now it's just like, okay, where I feel like I have healed from these things and I'm strong enough now. Okay, I understand the reason why it's happening. Ms. Denise, you and I specifically talked about it or whatever, where it was going to get to a space to where they were going to come back and they were going to need this type of healing.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's happening. So the mom part of me is absolutely like I'm screaming and I'm crying for my baby. On the other side or whatever, I know that we can get on the other side of this. I can't make an ignorant person who does not want to elevate or whatever be anything else than what he is. He is being his true, authentic self. And I'm not expecting anything from him or whatever. And I mean, honestly, if I could take my sex back, I absolutely would. I promise y'all, if I could unfuck him, oh gosh. Because this isn't what I want. And so it's a part of me that gets scared because I feel like it's so fragile and anything could happen. If I say the wrong thing, anything could happen, but I'm being vulnerable and I'm trusting. I'm trusting this process and I know that I can do this. I know that I can help her.
You can, but part of the frustration is the trying to control. And you can't. You can't. And that's where the vulnerability comes in. You gotta release the control of it and flow. Because if you don't, it's going to drag you down a rabbit hole. And so that's why you're frustrated. That's why you're angry. It's because you're unable to control the situation. And so it doesn't need to be controlled. It's an ebb and flow. You need to flow with it. But you can't allow the energy that's there to drag you down. Because you know it is what it is.
That's true.
It is what it is. You can't go back and undo it. You are where you are. And part of the process to not trigger is an ebb and flow. So you got to be able to ebb and flow with her, not control. And that's why frustration is control. The inability to control the situation causes us to be frustrated. So you have to let that go. You have to stop trying to control it.
Right.
And you can't take it personally. Just like Sister said, we all have our assignment, we all have our journey, and this is part of hers.
Right.
Yeah.
She's going to be all right. She has to go through this for some reason. We don't know why. When she came into your womb, she had an assignment. And she's going to have a story to tell down the road that's going to help some other little girls. So it's her journey. It has nothing to do with you. Don't take it personally because you're taking on energy because I wasn't there when I needed to be, when she was younger because of this and that and the other. It has nothing to do with that. This is her journey. This is what it was going to be when she came to your womb and you birthed her out. This was her journey. This is it. All you can do is love her through it. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Stop trying to control. Don't call him and tell her to turn on the phone and all that, because that just starts friction. You just have all this stuff that's going to go on. You know, that's how she is. You know, she turns her phones off at some time. Stop trying to control.
Yep. That's it. That's it. I don't have to say anything else.
I hear it
And
all.
as I said, remember I said to you, live in the present moment. What is required right here, right now, in this present moment? And it's not talking about, oh, and this is a below the belt, so forgive me. And I'm asking permission to go below the belt. The past doesn't matter. What he did, what he said, the distance between you and your children doesn't matter, because innately, when you guys are meant to come together, you're going to come together. But as Denise has eloquently said, everybody has an assignment. And yes, it hurts. And yes, it's tough. Mm-hmm. We all empathize with you, for real. It's hurting my heart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like I'm holding back. Mm-hmm. I feel you. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that we have to be willing to do the work. And the work is not fixing and replacing and going backwards. I'm going to give you an analogy, and I'm going to end here. Imagine that you have this priceless vase and you drop it and it gets a crease of one crack straight down the side of it. And there are some pieces that fall out. You decide you're going to take glue and you're going to put each little piece back. Right? When you're fixing that vase, and you get up close to the top and a piece falls out, you don't go back and try to put that piece in. You recognize that the piece that the vase is still holding, that one piece doesn't destroy the healing of that vase or the repair of that vase. You have to understand that if you go back, all the way back down to where the piece fell out, you're negating the closure. You're negating the healing. You are negating the repair. You are negating the usage of that vase again. You're delaying it. So focus on where you are right now when you notice that piece fall out. That piece, that chip that fell out, that wasn't glued properly, that was ill-fitting, that fell out, let it fall out and finish the journey. Finish the journey. And then you see if that piece was really as significant. And I'm not talking about your daughter, because I feel, but my daughter's I'm not talking about your daughter. I'm talking about all the other mess that's in your head right now. The need to be right, the need to be recognized, the need for people to see the error, the need for your daughter for your questioning of why your daughter. No, it's not important. What's important is what needs to happen right here, right now. If anything. And you already told me you're praying. You already told me that you have gone to find out what you should do and how much you should be involved, and that you are simultaneously praying for you to stay strong. It's unfortunate. I'm telling you, I feel it, I see it, I hear it. But don't go so far back down the lane that you destroy the greatness that you have evolved into. Give your daughter the support, the love, and attention that she needs, but don't entertain anybody else's conversation. Don't, baby. Don't worry about that he kept her away and that possibly if you would have been there, that don't get into those conversations. Those are tangents. Those are distractors, and those are limitations that are coming, that are affecting you from being vulnerable enough to the spirit and vulnerable enough to the inscriptions in your DNA that's going to tell you how to handle this.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And guess what? I don't know how to say that. Like I said, when I got that prayer, when my husband first heard me say that prayer, he was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "That includes you. Anyone and anything. All things are temporary, except for divine creation That's it. And matter. Everything else fades away. Matter can neither be destroyed nor created, but it can be transmuted and it can be mutated. So if you know that, we never go anywhere, but this temporary state we're in is temporary. The spirit is forever and eternal.
Yeah, I received that.
I know it's difficult. I feel you on the human side. I feel you. I see you in the spirit realm. I see you. Jacqueline, what you up to? What's up?
Riding on my way home from work.
Okay, what's on your mind? What's been going on?
The typical work stressors and, financial issues and just trying to get it together. Without getting too stressed out about it.
Mm-hmm. So anything new going on besides work?
Not really.
Good. How's work going? Are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the new job. Slowly trying to get a hang of everything, but it's been pretty cool so far.
Mm. Jane, Jack, that was quiet. You got quiet. What's up? Dang.
Oh, you didn't hear me?
What happened? Did I miss it? Did it go out?
Oh, I don't know. I was saying I like it so far. It's pretty cool.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear
I'm
that.
enjoying it. I'm enjoying it so far.
Good. And you feeling more, you getting more confident?
My feet don't like it so much, but other than that, I'm good.
I understand that. I mean, that's normal. When you stand on your feet for a long period of time, it does take a toll on your body. So I definitely understand that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm getting there with the getting more confident in doing this job. She's already trying to have me doing the stuff by myself, and I'm like, yeah, no, not yet.
Okay.
I got a key already and everything. I'm like, yeah, give me a little bit more time.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, crap.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, good. Well, I'm glad it's working out for you. What do you think about the conversation today?
I can definitely relate to what you were saying about the expectations that you expect out of other people, and you kind of have to accept that they're not at the same, they're not going the same pace as you, and stuff like that. I can definitely relate because it's several people in my family, and that I have to remind myself about that. It can get kind of frustrating sometimes, but like you said, everybody's journey is their own.
Mm-hmm.
So you just, got to learn to accept that.
And that's actually trauma bond or a codependency mechanism that we've all learned, right?
Yeah.
You know, we've all learned this. We've all learned this and we've all agreed to it. So now we have to figure out how best, to alter, evolve, adjust, transmute, transition, whatever the term is you need to have to make it better.
Right.
You know, to make it better. Amina, we got about 3 minutes left.
Yes. I mean, today was really, I was just thinking to myself how wonderful of a meeting this was today. I think for me, it's like, of all the information out there, I think for the people that are making no move, like they're not even on the journey, don't think they need the journey, just going out, spewing out venom to people, thinking that it's okay, that they're entitled to. I think it's those people that I judge, and I don't want to, but that's when I was saying, like, Jesus Christ, who the hell do I think I am? I was a nincompoop for many years, and now I'm where I am now. Woo, good for me. But this MFer is an asshole. So I have to either make a decision just to have a hard line and not deal with them, or is it up to me to create the tools to deal with people? I know that sounds crazy, but that's really, I'm in that space with some people now. And I want to be ethical, and do things right.
Remember what I said to Kiki when I said it's not your responsibility to worry about their involvement or their acceptance or their ability. That's not your responsibility. You need to know so they don't have the current capacity level. Huh?
I just was like, what if their lack of involvement is like literally like not necessarily traumatizing me, but it's like toxic.
I'm listening.
No, that's where I am.
Okay, so let's say this to you. Everyone and everything is temporary. You are not responsible for another person. You're solely responsible for you and your responses, your choices, your actions. You are. Once you come into awareness that something is no longer benefiting you, it is your responsibility to act accordingly.
Right.
Yes?
Yeah.
So if a person is not evolving, you have to find, and that's your creativity. That's your third level when you begin to create the reality that you desire for your life. So maybe instead of making them a main character, you make them a supporting role.
Transition, right.
Instead of being the lead singer, they're the background singer. Instead of being the solo dancer, they're just the core dancer. They're still there, but they don't have a prominent, dominant role in your life.
Yes. Yeah. And part of evolving is being confident in that decision and being confident in the choices that you make.
Absolutely, positively, so it is.
Thank you.
Absolutely, positively, so it is. So this Sunday session was about vulnerability. And I think we all displayed some level of vulnerability in being able to allow ourselves to reveal that which we need in this moment and show up in a space confidently, regardless. We just have to show up and be who we are authentically. We just have to trust and believe that all that is innately within us is within us for a purpose such as this. And it doesn't mean they're going to roll out the red carpet. It doesn't mean they're going to give us an award. It just means that it is what it is. As we are evolving in consciousness, we will experience On every one of the 7 levels, we will experience euphoria. We will have power, strengths. We will have greatness. We will have expansion. We will have healing. We're not looking for a cure. We just want to be able to heal ourselves enough to move away from the pain, move away from the distraction, move away from the hurt, move away from the disorientation of our thoughts, our minds, and our activities. You want to recenter, re-evolve, reclaim, restore, rebuild, access, interpret, align. No, this is not something that we all signed up for exactly looking like this because we were trying to use something else we've read, we've heard, we've seen. But when you're actually trying to get to the mountaintop, you have to climb the mountaintop individually. Others are there, but you are doing it individually. That's what healing is. The sacredness of this space, of holding this space to reveal, to explore, to channel into. This is why I say we must have daily standards, a daily practice, that from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are taking out time to restore, reconnect, acknowledge, and implement and put into practice that which we are doing in our silent moments of the day, in our reading times, in our practical classes, whatever it is. We collect residue, y'all, and we got to be willing to get rid of it. So this has been your Sunday session talking about vulnerability. Y'all know I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm glad y'all was here today. It has been a phenomenal moment. Yep, I closed my eyes, Denise. You already know. But yeah.
Yeah. This was so necessary.
Yeah, because we have to get to that space. And even if no one is around, be vulnerable with yourself enough to know what you need. Don't, oh, I'm being silly. Oh, I don't know. What needs to be done in this moment right now? Hear from divine, hear from your divine feminine, hear from the divine masculine, hear, harmony, truth, peace. Allow yourself to repair and restore the places that are empty, that are whole, that are broken. Some of you, I'm looking right now. I'm not going into this. I'm not going to give the name, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking inside of you. And I see a little girl hiding up under a ladder. She wants to climb the ladder, but she can't because she's so busy about all the things that happened prior to her finding the ladder to elevate herself. You found the ladder, climb it. Don't look down. Just keep climbing, looking up. Don't worry about what was said. Keep focused and climb up. That's it. It's not about what happened in the past. It's not about any title. That's why I said there are limitations. Don't wear them as badges of honor. And the ills that have been done to you, understand that they have been done to you to force you into a place of a quiet sanctuary, and by which you can begin to explore and hear and see and evaluate and reconstruct and build and create, and then go back more fortified and ready to address those persons if required and if necessary. All right, y'all, this has been the Sunday the Sunday session. And today we talked about vulnerability. Anybody have closing words before we go?
Thank you. It was wonderful as always. Today was really good and deep.
Say it again, Denise.
I said today was really wonderful and deep. I needed this.
Yeah, that last thing you just said.
Yes.
I'll have to play it back because y'all know I don't know what came out. So
it just resonated, in my heart directly. I feel like you were talking to me personally, but who am I?
You are Amina the Great.
Yes. And I just thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for today. All the ladies, thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate everybody here. Appreciate all y'all.
We appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Kiki, how you feeling, baby? I need to hear your voice before you go.
Thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it.
How are you feeling?
Emotional.
Talk to me. What does that mean?
During the time that you were talking, I received what it was that you were saying, and I think that ultimately is. And I remember doing this reading not too long ago for myself was to not. Um, it's not about control or having any type of control, but really ultimately creating the sacred space for myself, going back to the inner child, creating the sacred space for myself, asking for guidance. And I'm just allowing it to be. I don't have control over it. It's fine. Don't want control over it. I just, oh, I don't, oh.
Kiki, did you make an appointment for this month?
You said what?
Did you make your appointment with me this month?
No.
Why not? Make your appointments like this week, like Monday or Tuesday. Thank you. All right, Jacqueline, last thoughts, comments?
I'm just glad I was actually able to listen in this time. I mean, I love my job, but you know, working on the weekends now, and I can't, you know, do this every week. You know, I was so used to it. So I'm just glad I got off early today and was able to join in and hear some things that I needed to hear.
Okay. All right. I love it. All right. I think I contacted everybody, right? There's no one else that I omitted, right? Kiki, Amina, Jacqueline, Denise. That's all 4, right?
Yeah.
All right. Denise, did you go or you didn't pull?
I'm here. No, I did mine already. I'm good.
Did you pull today?
No, I didn't. I did not pull today because I didn't bring my cards with me. I'm in California.
Oh, that's right. You're back in California. So let me tell you that I pulled.
Okay, you pulled.
Sister pulled. What is going on here? What is going on here? Sister pulled. Here we go. Get ready. So I pulled what's called the 9 of Knives, and I'm in the Hoodoo Tarot, right? I'm sorry, the 9 of Sticks. That's my error. I don't know why I said 9 of Knives. Maybe I'll go back and see that once we get done with this, okay? The 9 of Sticks in the Hoodoo deck is all about, it's the pepper. It's about pepper, hot stuff. Finally deciding that enough is enough, that you're going to protect yourself, well, whatever it takes, whether it's a Mojo bag or Bible or pistol. The skull is representative of the ancestors who have been waiting for her to make a move and willing to provide assistance. Defending yourself, a test of faith, perseverance, being prepared, a fight to the death, willpower, resilience, guarding your boundaries, and the attitude of I would rather do than die. Meaning not just rolling over, not just succumbing to what people expect of you, not just allowing people to dictate who you are and what you are about and what you can contribute, but knowing that in this moment, right here, right now, you are making a decision and you're choosing to fight to the end to ensure that what is to be must be. I think that was timely. Yeah.
Yes, it was, because that's where we are.
Yes. And the second card I pulled was the Freeman, right? It's the Freeman is about a man walking around in South Carolina, and this man is walking away from Joshua Ward's plantation. That was the largest plantation in South Carolina that ever existed, right? And so this man is carrying a mason jar with dirt, and how can I tell you about this man? I'm just trying to remember like the whole story. But bottom line, the meaning is that the Freeman is a card that the card 0, because 0 is a neutral number. Since most people normally don't start counting with 0, likewise, the Freeman doesn't count in situations that demand subservience. Hello, hello, hello.
Mm-hmm.
The free man doesn't count situations that demand subservience to conventional wisdoms and status quo. The free man is a whole nother level because he is genuinely feels his common sense is more for common people. He doesn't think he's better than anyone. He just has to accept the new grass that doesn't grow as lusciously on the beaten path. The free man is definitely foolish to most people who encounter him because he appears to be reckless and immature, but such assessments are only relevant when gain or loss is the focus. The free man doesn't exist in a space where there are thoughts, where those thoughts flourish. He is more interested in the attainment of wisdom by following his passions and what he knows to be true whenever he may ultimately, wherever they may ultimately lead him. The free man has what every great root worker has always had, the courage to follow their calling. Hint, hint. Despite the possibility of dire consequences and the unshakable faith that made the courage possible. Those are the two cards I pulled today from the Hoodoo Tarot cards. Those are the cards I pulled. I trust that they will bring some type of harmony, greater harmony and alignment to your life, and that you understand what they were for. But definitely, I believe those two cards definitely rose up. It's time to take a stand. It's time for you to be bold. It's time for you to stand opposite of what people expect you to do. You're not going to be part of the group. You're not going to be part of the normal process. We're on a new level, new things, new opportunities. It's time to get going. All right, ladies.
All right, sister.
Hey,
all right, sis. I heard
Denise
it.
like, ooh wee.
Ooh wee.
No.
Ooh wee.
All right, y'all.
All right, sisters.
All right.
Have a good night.